paper that I read at Berkeley. So I'm going to read it to you guys because it's much more shorter because the paper is like a lot of work.
This was for the melon.
Yeah.
Explain about that.
We were in Berkeley. So.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Jesicca Fortunata, and I'm a Mellon Fellow from Heritage University in Washington State. Thank you for coming to listen to my proposal titled, What Lessons Have We Learned from the Kennewick Man Case? I am a researcher living on the traditional homelands of the Yakama Nation. The location of Heritage University on the Yakama Indian Reservation offers me extensive opportunities for primary contact with diverse populations of both students and community members. I have listened carefully to the elders. These ancient remains were brought to the earth for the people to see. My overall thematic question is, who are the people who have power over these bones? Are human remains property? For the Umatilla tribe, when the bones were brought to the people, their immediate thought was to close the circle with a traditional burial. I have also listened carefully to the scientists who are opposed to reburial. The scientists have argued for the active preservation of Kennewick Man. They believe with improved methods over time, they would continue to yield evidence related to the cultural history of North America. The ancient remains of Kennewick Man were discovered on traditional Umatilla homelands in 1996. He represents one of the earliest intact skeletons with an estimated age of 9,500 years old. The Kennewick Man case involves some of the most compelling scientific, cultural, and legal issues in the Pacific Northwest. The Kennewick Man controversy provoked a compelling expanse of human curiosity, critically questioning the identity or true origin of the ancient skeleton. My mentor, Dr. Steve Hackenberger, professor of anthropology at Central Washington University, posits, when people question his identity, what they are truly asking is, who am I? Because his life seems so extraordinary, his identity mirrors, extends, or magnifies their own. This process of identification through imagination and transcendence of both life and death, or past and present, may be the largest of lessons that Kennewick Man stories have to share. Several agencies and communities share strong interest in the controversy and want to know who Kennewick Man was or is. His identity depends on assumptions and ideas about cultural affiliation, forensic sciences, and civil rights of the Umatilla tribe and scientists. All parties are apprehensive and have a stake in the outcome of his identification and his possible future repatriation. Conflicts have developed when the efforts of forensic science who seek to identify Kennewick Man interfere with or appear to disrespect cultural traditions of Native Americans. My goal for this project was to collect and synthesize select primary sources, both from the Umatilla Nation tribal archives, such as legal documents and media reports, as well as interviews with key people involved in the Kennewick Man case from Northwest anthropologists. This study explores the cultural and political discourse and differing perspectives that underpin some of these conflicts. My method of critical inquiry will be to compare and contrast perspectives of anthropologists and Native American authorities regarding 1, the cultural politics of identity, and 2, the legal and regulatory definitions of identity. How do we negotiate our cultural political identities when faced with independence and authority? Why do the scientists believe that their intellectual rights are entitled to a constitutional democracy? The scientists believe that they have the right to practice their scientific methods of inquiry and are committed to the preservation of American historical knowledge. They further argue that for the active preservation of Kennewick Man, as opposed to reburial, they would continue to yield evidence related to the peopling of North America. Why do the Native Americans believe that their religious rights are entitled to constitutional democracy? For the Umatilla tribe, they quickly claim the remains in hopes of preventing further scientific study and types of destructive testing, which they believe desecrate the dead and violate their traditional beliefs. They also asserted that it is central to their traditional ways and that their practices require timely ceremonial burial of human remains. How do we identify ourselves within the conflicts and courts of arbitration found in the regulatory laws of government? Both entities believe that their civil rights have been violated. Why does the federal government attempt to control the religious rights of Native Americans? Tribal leaders consider the scientists' contested claim to be a cultural violation imposed upon their traditional beliefs, opposing their right to claim the intellectual property of their ancestor. Furthermore, they found the conduct of scientists and government to be discourteous, arrogant, immoral, publicly oppressing their tribal rights as a sovereign nation. The Umatilla tribe does not swear their allegiance to science nor politics, but to their tradition. The elders have stated, "We do not need science nor government to tell us who our ancestor is." Why does the federal government control rights of academic freedom and free speech of scientific experts? The scientists claim they never acted with the intention of being disrespectful of traditions. They reacted in opposition to agency control of academic freedom to conduct legitimate scientific research and related freedoms of speech. Their findings in publication could bear witness to the origins and experiences of Kennewick man, if not connections to his descendants. They justified their professional conduct following their code of ethics, abiding by the guidelines of the Archaeological Resources Protection Act, which was enacted in 1979 to protect archaeological sites found on federal lands and to conserve archaeological materials. It is key to my analysis is this recognition that attitudes towards cultural property, or more specifically the rights to control human remains, can clash with values related to intellectual property, academic freedom, and rights of free speech. This clash involves a power struggle between traditionalists and scientists. Researching the concerns central to the conflict of cultural political identities may be the attribute in helping us to develop lesson plans about resolving conflicts regarding cultural heritage. There may be no resolution for the conflicts that have developed in the Kennewick man case unless the scientists and the traditionalists can balance their perspective and compromise their action plans. Thank you.
Very good.